What's going on, guys? It's Parker from Aurora Yu-Gi-Oh! Here coming at you with a tier list for the March 2021 meta. So, last ban list was pretty wild. Kind of shook things up a little bit. It wasn't an intense ban list like some of the ones we've had before, but it did sort of create a bit of a healthier game state in my opinion, depending on the deck we're talking about. I'll get to that in a second, but I decided, I'll put up a tier list of my own instead of just letting other people do their own tier lists, just by themselves. I feel like my opinion should be heard too. So, anyways, I'm not going to waste any more time, we're going to get straight into this. So, first off, we have ABC, which, it's unfortunate, honestly, because, I always liked ABC as an idea, but with the Union Carrier hit, it really kind of just got knocked down. Really, really bad. ABC doesn't really exist right now without Union Carrier, and so that was kind of like the final nail in the coffin, honestly. And I guess, it probably won't get any more anytime soon without it. So, anyways, next we have Invoked. So, Invoked is a weird one for me because, Invoked is an engine. You can't really rate an engine very well. So, I feel like I'm just gonna put it in... I'm gonna put it in other, not because Invoked in itself is bad, it's just that it's really hard to rank an engine like this, so, hopefully people won't get, too furious at me. But anyways, next we have Adamantipator. So Adamantipator hasn't really been seeing much of, any sort of play. I've heard it's being used as an engine in Prank Kids, which is actually next, by the way, but I feel like that's just kind of weird. I'm torn between Rogue and Other. Because, it has potential, it can still, abuse Hulk and stuff, but we'll be nice and we'll give Adamantipator the Rogue spot. With the Block Dragon hit, literally kind of, murdered this deck, but could it even actually do anything without Union Carrier now? You know what? I'm sorry. Adamantipator's going into Other. I remembered now that the main combos with Adamantipator used Union Carrier, and so it's kind of just dead now. That sucks. But a deck that isn't dead is definitely Prank Kids. It's actually going to go into the Rogue tier. I was considering tier 2, but I feel like it'd be more of a tier 2.5, something like that. Because not too many boards right now can, not, reset themselves properly. Not too many decks can't recover from 2 Regekis. Considering that the deck doesn't put up any, inherent negates. And it also it does die to Nibiru pretty bad. And you can also kill it with Ash. But 2 Regekis can be very threatening depending on their board state and their hand. And also you can have later setup, especially if you end off with Prank, so you can keep recycling. So I like having Prank Kids in a nice Rogue tier. It's always been that kind of underdog matchup, especially when it won the YCS the first weekend it was out. That was funny. But next we have Buster Blader. So Buster Blader is also a weird one because I personally don't know too much about the strategy. But when I think about it, Dragon Link is kind of running rampant, so there's a lot of dragons and stuff right now. And they do have their Destruction Sword back, the little Buster guy. So I feel like putting it in a nice Rogue tier. It's meant to combat dragons. Dragon Link's going to be an inherent problem right now. So I feel like this would be a nice place to put it. Dinosaur, tier 1. I would add tier 0, because, Dinosaur tier 0. Nah, in all seriousness, though, Dinosaur is actually going to do really good now because of the last ban list. Especially with Pot of Prosperity also coming out, a lot of the time when you're a Dino player, you kind of either brick on hand traps or brick on combo pieces. And Pot of Prosperity can bring out whatever you need left. Say you're going first and all you need is a Misk or a Baby to start your combo off, or hell, even a Lost Roll if you want a better combo. All you have to do is activate a Pot of Prosperity, excavate the top 6, because the extra deck doesn't matter too much other than Dolka and then the Linkuriboh Secure Guard in a package, and just add whatever you need because you're almost guaranteed to get it with that amount of excavation power, and then you're set for the rest of the turn. And the damage halving and stuff doesn't really matter considering that it's Dinosaur. You have Tyranno that you can get up to potentially 7,000 if you play the Dugaris package like me. So Dinosaur is going to sit in a nice comfortable tier 1, which I am happy for. It's back where it belongs. Shaddoll. So I think I'm also going to put this in Other, not because Shaddoll's bad, but also it's technically more of an engine, but with the structure deck, it does kind of stand alone on its own legs. But there's so much, graveyard interruption now, people are playing Abyss Dweller, Skullmeister, and Ghost Bell are, some of the best hand traps right now. and Shaddoll really probably just can't keep up with all those hand traps, so I'm just going to put that in a nice other tier. Next up we have Cyber Dragon. Cyber Dragon is a tough choice between Rogue and Other. I do personally very much enjoy the strategy. It's a very good strategy when done right. But going first, all it can really do is set up like an Infinity and maybe a Dragoon. And I don't think that's necessarily enough for it to warrant Rogue. So it's also going into Other. I know I have a lot of things in Other right now, but I'm sorry, that's just kind of how it is. So, yikes. So, sorry, Cyber Dragon, but until, like, the meta kind of dies down and gets no more control meta, which is slowly happening, by the way, don't worry, then you're just gonna have to sit down here. BA/PK, I'm actually, like, oh no, this is just BA, actually, we have a Phantom Knights over here. So, BA, honestly, I'm gonna have to put that in Rogue, because BA is pretty good, like, Dante is pretty good. I'm assuming this is PK Fire, because Phantom Knights right now are more of a standalone deck than they ever have been, with a small BA engine, and then I'll treat this, oh wait, why is that there? I'll treat this as BA with a small PK engine, so I guess I'll just go ahead and smack it in Rogue, because, you know, I'll definitely put it under these two, but, you know, I'll just put this here, by the way, let me just shuffle that around a little bit. So, this is definitely going to go here, because it's not that great, you know, but it has the PK engine in it, so, like, what can you do? If it has a PK engine, then it's fine. True Draco, unfortunately, it's definitely not tier 2 anymore, like it usually used to be, or Rogue. I feel like it's going to go into the other category. But no, actually, we have 3 True Kings returns, so I mean, Rogue isn't too far of a stretch, especially with how the meta's slowly starting to shape up. A lot of floodgates can actually stop decks dead in their tracks, like Summon Limit, and there can be only one. So, I feel like Dracos can, like, sit at a nice Rogue spot. They won't sit at tier 2 until Dragonic Diagram, my bad, comes back to 3, but Rogue doesn't seem too bad. Math Mechs, no one fucking cares about Math Mechs, they don't really matter. Dragoon, I don't know why this is here. I feel like this is more of an engine, but, you know, any deck that can make Dragoon can make itself Rogue, so Dragoon and Rogue. Zoo, so I'm going to put Zoo in the comfortable tier 2 spot, actually. Get something in tier 2 there, because, okay, so honestly, it's not really the Zoo part that's too good. It's actually, like, or the Tri-Brigades, it's really just, like, the Floodgates they play, because, or, like, the Disruptions, because Zoo right now is usually... you make Zeus, you sit on that, and then you sit on, like, a few back row as well, and maybe a Link monster, and that's pretty good, honestly, especially because Zeus is such a strong boss monster. I mean, he's easily outed, but still. And then the Tri-Brigade stuff's nice for recovery, and then the Zeus stuff is very consistent, even with only 1 Rat and 1 Barrage, so I'm gonna have to have Zoo in tier 2. It'd probably stay in tier 2 even if Dryden came off, but if Barrage came off, you know, I feel like that might bounce to tier 1, but for now, Zoo is sitting at a nice comfortable tier 2. Now we're looking at Drytron, so they did take some massive hits with the Union Carrier and the Ben 10 hits on the list, but I feel like the deck is still solid at a nice tier 1, because, you know, it's very consistent, gets things on the board really fast, tributes the Ben 10, even if you only have the 1 copy of Ben 10, if you can get it in your hand, you can, like, kind of loop some stuff. I feel it's going to be more, like, combo-ish than before, instead of, like, sit on, what was it, Vanity's Ruler, Majesty's Ruler, something like that. Instead of sitting on that, I feel like it might have more combo potential, but nonetheless, I feel like tier 1 is still a nice spot for it, even after the Union Carrier and Ben 10 hits. So next up is Dogmatica. I really don't know how to balance this between tier 2 and Rogue. I actually haven't seen a lot of Dogmatica lately, like, at my locals it was running rampant, but it kind of just slowly started to die down, so I feel like it's going to make a lot more sense to just put it in Rogue, because it's another thing where it's like it's an engine, you can't really play an actual, like, Dogmatica deck. We are getting new cards in Lightning Overdrive, and I'm pretty sure we got some new ones in Blazing Vortex, but as an engine, you know, it's a decent engine, honestly. The extra deck stuff is really nice, and it's also this thing like Dragoon where you can splash it, and then it kind of makes a bad deck, you know, better, so it can sit comfortably in Rogue. Eldritch is going to go up to tier 1. Eldritch is a very consistent deck, very, like, you know, resource kind of bouncy deck. Eldritch Golden Lord himself is a really good card. They're getting the fusion, but I don't think that matters. I feel like the fusion isn't that great. But this is a nice control deck, honestly, and if you don't have a back row, like a set of back row removal like Cosmic Cyclone, then you're probably in a bad situation going up against Eldritch. Tri-Brigade, I don't know why this is separate from Zoo. It can go down into, like, Rogue, I guess. Like, I don't really feel like that's very good. Like, just playing it without Zoo, so I'm just gonna keep that there. Guru, this is another rogue contender. So, again, we are slowly starting to shift towards a control-based meta. So, I feel like Guru, while it's definitely not the best out of the control or stun decks, it's definitely got potential to, like, keep going. It's got Pot of Prosperity now, you know. I feel like it's gonna do pretty good. So, I'm gonna keep this in Rogue. Virtual World, okay. So as much as I dislike Virtual World, I'm gonna have to put it back up in Tier 1. So I thought it would go down to Tier 2 with the Calamities hit, but the deck is still, like, very consistent, and what it does is pretty good. It has, like, 3 different boards I've actually seen so far already. There's one where it hand loops you for, like, basically your entire hand, or, like, most of your hand. They use, Trish, the X-Saber guy, Phantom Fortress, Enter Blathnir, all the stuff like that. And that's pretty good. They have one where they abuse Dragon Buster because it came off. They can use Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, to send it from deck to grave. And then they use Insector, Exabeetle to equip it to one of them. Which is absolutely hilarious, but, like, you know, it's not that great, but it's still really funny. And then you also have your, like, standard negate board now. They usually just end off on a Dragoon, a Crystal Wing, and maybe, like, 1 or 2, like, random little guys. Which, you know, it's not, like, the most oppressive board, but they usually also have a Choo-Chee in the back, so Virtual World's still a very consistent, very solid deck. It's not going to move from Tier 1, like, anytime soon, unless we get a new ban list or it gets power crept, and that's all I have to say about that. Altergeist is going to go into Rogue. Altergeist is probably always going to be in the Rogue tier for a long time, until it gets, like, the new... Well, it's kind of old now, but, like, until it gets its guy that lets you link with it in your hand, I feel like it won't go up to Tier 2 anytime soon, but Rogue is still a nice place to put it. It's a very solid deck, very consistent deck. It definitely dies to board wipes, though. That's the main problem, so not going to go up anytime soon. So Sky Striker, I mean, it doesn't have Engage anymore, so it really hurts the consistency, but it has, like, just about everything else. Multi-roll's still at 1, though, isn't it? I don't know, but still, I'm gonna have to put it in Rogue. I mean, they got 3 Widow Anchor, what can you really do? Not really much to say about that, not gonna lie. Infernoble, so... I mean, like, Infernoble isn't, like, dead, but it did really get hit really hard, especially now with the Union Carrier hit, but I still like to put it in Rogue, because, you know, it's not bad. It's really not bad. It's literally just Warrior, but weird. Now, speaking of Warrior, let's just go ahead and throw Goki down here, because Dark Warrior doesn't really matter right now. But Infernoble is certainly able to hold its own sometimes, so I'm going to keep it in Rogue. Dragon Link, Rockets, etc. Oh my god, you know what? Let me like, put this... There we go, let me kind of organize this a little bit. Oh my god, dude. Dragon Link is so ridiculous. So, I went to locals last night, right? And I actually managed to get top 2. And I was going to go against Prank Kids, you know, if Prank Kids would have won. It was actually Javon, he's been on the channel. He managed to lose, though, and I had to go up against one of the, if not the best players in the store, and he was playing Dragon Link. He plays, like, something different every week, but he was playing Dragon Link, and I wanted to cry. Like, Dragon Link is ridiculous right now after that ban list. Like, there is no touches to it whatsoever. Like, honestly, as long as Dragon Link got hit, I wouldn't even mind a hit to dinosaurs. I wouldn't mind, like, a Fossil Dig hit or anything like that, but oh my god, Dragon Link is ridiculous. Also, you should go totally watch Team Samurai X1's latest video on it, because it literally sits there and basically jerks itself off vigorously for 10 minutes in one turn to sit on, like, just about anything at once. And that is insane. And so Dragon Link is definitely going to be, like, the uncontended, like, top deck right now. And that's not even an exaggeration. I don't usually use that lightly. Like, I joke around about it with, like, dinosaurs and stuff, but oh my god, Dragon Link is ridiculous right now, so be wary for that if you ever have to go up against it. Phantom Knights, I almost said Burning Knights or Phantom Abyss, but Phantom Knights, definitely Tier 2. A lot of people like to put this in Rogue, but it's a really good deck. Like, it has both the combination of the control aspects of the back row and the combo aspects of the actual monsters. It can abuse Zeus. It has the really big, Arc Rebellion, Xyz Dragon, that's what it's called, I believe. It has Raider's Knight to go into that. It literally can do just about anything you want and more. It doesn't die to stuff blowing up its board because it has graveyard stuff, doesn't die to graveyard negations because it has stuff on its board. It's a overall very well balanced and very versatile deck that can sit in tier 2 for a while. Honestly, I feel like the Burning Abyss engine that was in it at one point is just kind of gone. Like, it's mostly just Cherubini now and like maybe one or two other things, but I feel like Phantom Knights aren't going to go anywhere for a while. Very good deck. I definitely say to pick it up, honestly, if you have the chance, because I feel like it can do like a lot against just about everything here. So overall, very good deck. Pendulum, I'm sorry you didn't get Electromite back. I gotta put you down there. Salamangreat, you don't have Mirage Stalio or Gazelle or Circle at any good like numbers, I'm sorry. Madolche, so I'm torn between Rogue and other. Because Madolche is a very good deck, but literally one well-timed like Nibiru or other hand trap just kind of murders it. So, I mean, you know, I'm going to put it in Rogue. I'm going to be really nice. Like, it's probably not a good idea to put it in Rogue, but, you know, I mean, whatever. Like, it's not that bad, but it's not that good. But I want to be nice to the Madolche players, because I did lose to Madolche actually the other week, so... You know, win some, you lose some, and then after all of that, we end off with Frogs, which unfortunately will still go in other because they're not that great right now. But anyways, yeah, that's going to do it for my tier list for the March 2021 competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta. This is probably not the best list. I do have a lot of biases, and I also mainly do local stuff. So if I don't see like a lot of stuff doing good at my locals, then I usually probably won't rank it as high. Some of this stuff probably could move around. I feel like maybe Drytron could bounce to tier 2, or Eldritch could bounce to tier 2, because I have a lot of tier 1 picks. Dinosaurs maybe bounce to tier 2, but I feel like they're just a lot better now. You know, maybe put Salamangreat up into Rogue, you know, maybe put, like, Dogmatica up into tier 2, you know. My tier list isn't gonna be your tier list, but this is just my opinion right now. But anyways, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to, you know, help pump out more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. I usually, like, post on this channel whenever I feel like I'm getting a lot of attention on it and when people, like, actually are interested. So, yeah, liking and subscribing would totally help out. But anyways, once again, that's going to do it for the video. I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.